Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And this is my first impressions look on the Puma Fusion Nitro Spectra. So this shoe is going for 130 bucks. It looks great and this colorway is dope as well. You can also see a multicolored knit. Of course, I definitely do miss multicolored fly knit in Nike, but anyways, it kind of brings back some old memories with this. If you guys do want to cop this shoe, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. Sorry, I know the shoe came out like a little bit ago, like a couple of weeks ago, but then it sold out. And then, I don't know how they sold out so quickly, but they did. And then they just restocked it and I just got it. So sorry it took a little bit, but anyways, links are below if you guys do want to cop. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And in this colorway, we got a solid white outsole, and then the pattern, we got some, I guess it is multi-directional. It's pretty much a continuous wavy line kind of throughout this entire outsole. We got a series of them, and the bite is actually really good on my wood floors. I guess my floors are pretty dirty though, and it does seem to be picking up a little bit of dust and dirt and debris and stuff. I definitely do need a sweep. But anyways, yeah, the bite seems to be good. Of course, I'm gonna need to try it on a wood floor and also test out the performance on dust. But right now, everything seems to be pretty damn good, so I'm very excited about that. And as far as durability though, durability seems really bad. I mean, these grooves are so thin, and just because it's so thin and so easily moved by my finger, I feel like it'll rip off, especially if you play on an outdoor court. So just probably stay away from outdoor use. And of course, I'm gonna be playing on an indoor court, so hopefully this is still pretty good on the indoor court, but we'll have to see on that. Also, if you look at the bottom of the shoe, you can see some cutouts where it shows you kind of like the exposed foam here on the bottom of the shoe, and it's called nitro foam, which we'll get into in a little bit. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, it seems pretty smooth, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice curved shape. It's a pretty rounded shape, so that definitely helps to transfer a little bit of that energy so it doesn't feel like clunky or anything here in the heel, as opposed to like if it was like a 90-degree angle, kind of like Timberlands are, you know? So that definitely does help, but as you guys can see, I don't know why Puma likes to do this so much, but we got a caged midsole here in the heel, and it's pretty much the entire heel in the back here. It does say nitro here, but it is a very hard plastic actually, so it doesn't allow the foam to compress at all. You know, sometimes companies use a softer type of plastic, or you know, the rubber comes up and the rubber outsole is a little softer, but in this case it's pretty stiff, so that kind of sucks. But I still feel like it's still pretty smooth here in the heel. And here in the forefoot, I mean, just like in all of their other ball shoes, like the Puma Triple and also the Puma Clad All Pro, one of my favorite shoes to play in, look at this. Like crazy curved shape here in the forefoot, which I really like. And the Nitro Spectra definitely does the same thing. Like it has a lot of curve, and look at that. A lot of forefoot flex. So I feel like heel to toe transition is going to be very smooth. It feels pretty damn smooth right now. I just wish it was not caged here in the heel. Now moving on to the cushioning setup, we got a full length nitro foam, and Puma is saying that it's responsive and stuff like that. I mean, just feeling it with your finger, it feels pretty nice. There is a little bit of give to the foam, but like I said, here in the heel, it doesn't really allow for a whole lot of compression, so you don't really feel any type of compression from the actual midsole. And then here in the forefoot, I mean, not all too much either. The rubber outsole actually cages a good amount of the midsole here in the forefoot as well. It's pretty much fully exposed only here in the midfoot, which you're really not going to be landing on. When you're landing, you either land on your forefoot, or if you heel strike sometimes, you land on the heel, right? And that's where they caged it the most, which doesn't really make any sense, you know? But I definitely do understand, like, you don't want it to compress too much or else it'll be unstable. But I feel like, you know, if you make a nice foam compound, I want to feel the foam, you know what I mean? Like, why do companies do this? You don't have to cage it this much, you know what I mean? So I am a little disappointed in that. As far as the insole goes though, the insole is actually very nice and very plush. It seems a little bit thicker than your average Ortholite insole, so step-in comfort feels nice. And then feeling underneath the insole, the actual stroke board is kind of stiff. You know, hopefully it breaks in and you can actually feel the nitro foam. We'll have to see on that. You know, just like in the Puma Clad hardwood, they caged it up a lot, and I'm not a huge fan of that. You know, I wish they would have fully exposed it like here in the Puma Clad All Pro. But anyways, right now the cushion isn't feeling that good. I mean, it feels pretty low to the ground. I feel the impact protection is gonna be pretty good. And also it feels like a very responsive cushioning setup, but nothing crazy going on like as far as compression or bounce goes from this cushioning setup so far. All right, moving on to the materials. So they're calling this the Fusion Fit Plus, and they're saying there is a compression band here. It's not really a band, it's more so just like a very stretchy knit. And I feel like this entire upper is this stretchy knit, but we have a lot of fuse actually on the upper, right? So here in the toe box, we have that knit material, but it is very fused down, as you guys can see. But also one good thing about it is that it's a super thin fuse material. So it still feels really soft. It doesn't feel like crazy plasticky or stiff at all on foot. I feel like they did a really good job in putting this fuse on, right? So the fuse material seems super thin. I definitely don't think they needed to fuse the top of the toe area this much though. Like on top of the foot, you don't really need all too much fuse. You don't need support or anything right here. I guess durability though, but you only need it kind of like on the edges or kind of like on the tip of the toe box, you know? You don't need it all the way here. I kind of, you know, I just like to have like a very soft, thin material on top of my toes. But anyways, you know, it's not a huge deal, right? And there is this rib pattern that goes across the lateral side as well as here on the medial side of the shoe on the fused material. I'm not really sure what that does. I feel like that's more just for aesthetic purposes. Here in the middle of the shoe though, you can see that it's a super stretchy material, and it's not only where this multicolor knit is, it's basically this entire knit material. It feels very stretchy. It stretches over your foot as well when you put on the shoe. And then it's kind of like an outer booty, right? So we have this knit material with this fuse, and then we have this tongue. So the tongue is very well padded, you know, has a good amount of padding, which feels very nice and very cozy on top of the foot. And also this tongue is a half booty construction tongue, which goes underneath this knit material to give you an overall better one-to-one fit. And then moving here into the ankle area, there is a good amount of padding as well. I would say out of all the Puma shoes that are on this desk, no, I would say it's pretty similar to the Puma Clyde All Pro. So a good amount of padding. It feels very nice. It's not too bulky though, or too thick in my opinion, like comparing it to like the Dawn Issue 2. It's just the right amount for me personally. So here in the back of the shoe, it feels very cozy, very nice, very comfortable. And then here in the midfoot area, you get that nice stretch from the material. It stretches over your foot. And then moving here into the toe box, we get a nice, very thin material that conforms to your foot and also feels very minimal. Also, another unique thing about this shoe is the lacing system. I mean, they're just using traditional laces, but there's very few eyelets on this shoe. There's only 4 eyelets on each side. And then over this kind of like compression band, we have an X. There's no eyelets on the actual knit, which is weird. I don't know why they did that. But I guess you don't really need it because like I said, this knit material kind of like stretches over your foot. But we'll have to see on that because knit materials do stretch out a good amount, you know, once you break it in. So, but you know, hopefully there's no issues with lockdown or containment here in the midfoot. But yeah, the lacing system is pretty weird. All right, as far as the fit goes, the fit is perfect, guys, right? So I don't know what it is with Pumas, but Pumas fit my foot really well. So I would say it's a very similar fit to like the Kyrie 7 or like the KD 13 or the KD 14. It's just a very snug fit, right? So I went true to size. Even for me, I would say it's a little snug, right? It's a little uncomfortable right now. So here lengthwise, I would say I'm pretty much good to go, but as you guys can see, it is quite pointy here. So like my pinky toe and I guess my ring toe is kind of squeezing here a little bit. So I feel like if I went up half a size, I wouldn't have that problem. But if I did that, I would definitely have a little bit of space in between the edge of the shoe and like my big toe, you know? So we'll have to see on how that feels when I'm playing it. But right now it feels a little snug that way. Here in the toe box, it's extremely snug as well. I really like it. And because of this fused material, I don't think the material is going to stretch out all too much. So overall, I like the snug fit here in the toe box. And also widthwise, it is pretty damn narrow. Like I said, it is squeezing my pinky toe and ring toe. So just watch out for that. If you like a very snug fit, go true to size. If you want a little bit more of a relaxed fit and you don't think you'd like that crazy snug feeling, then go up half a size. If you have a very wide foot or you like to have a very loose fit in your shoe, probably stay away from the shoe or maybe go up like a full size. But for me personally, I really like the fit so far. It just feels a little uncomfortable right now, but I feel like I'll get used to it. As far as the support and lockdown goes, it feels like it's going to be very good, right? So here in the forefoot, there's really not a whole lot caging you. So I am a little bit worried about that, but the material in this fuse feels supportive enough. And then here in the heel, we have the foam coming up a lot. I guess this cage kind of doubles as a heel counter, but of course this plastic piece right here is an external TPU heel counter as well. So support and lockdown, I feel like it's gonna be good. And now moving on to the weight of the shoe. It feels kind of heavy. I'm guessing like 13.5 ounces, maybe even 14 ounces. Yeah, so 13.4 ounces. Ooh, okay, I'm pretty damn close. And then let's check this shoe, 13.33 ounces. So that's what Puma does, guys. I guess these two shoes are exceptions, but you know, like the Puma Clyde hardwood and some of their other models, you know, the foam that they use is pretty high density. They use a lot of caging, which is very heavy, and the rubber outsole is also super thick. So yeah, I mean, you know, it feels really minimal and very nice on foot. I love how the material feels on foot, right? But then like, it doesn't feel super light. You know what I mean? Like you can definitely feel the weight on the bottom of your shoe. So I wish they would go back to this. The Puma Clyde All Pro is just super light, 11.89 ounces. And then the triple is also very, very light, you know, 11.53 ounces. So you don't see any type of crazy caging or anything in these shoes. So I definitely think it's a little overkill in this shoe. It's definitely not super heavy though. 13.5 ounces isn't super heavy. But in my personal opinion, I feel like if it was a little bit lighter, maybe even like 12 ounces, then that would have been a lot better. And like I said, all this is pretty much unnecessary. So, but you know, it does feel overall really nice and very similar to the Puma Clyde hardwood, which, you know, I really like playing in the shoe. All right, as far as the aesthetics go, Puma killed it. This shoe looks freaking amazing. You know, I love the logo placement. I love the multicolor knit, and just the overall aesthetic looks great. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, I'm liking it so far. You know, everything seems really good, just besides the weight. But like I said, right now it doesn't seem like a huge issue. It's just, you know, I would have preferred it to be a little bit lighter. So yeah, I'm very excited to play in these, and I feel like these are gonna be a banger. And for 130 bucks, that's a pretty good price. So anyways, my first impressions of the shoe, very, very good. And if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.